So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time within 30 minutes. Now, before starting the lecture, I would like to tell you something, okay? Yes, it is very difficult to not get distracted by whatever is going on between India and Pakistan. Situation is very tense, and I can understand your anxiety as well as your basically desire to know what is happening. So many of you are hooked to mobile phones or reels, Instagram reels, YouTube shorts, and everything. The thing is that please don't do that. Okay, your time is crucial. It would really hurt you if you spend most of your time in this. Watch the news once or twice a day. Okay, in the evening, in the morning. Okay, government also conducts a press briefing in the morning, in the evening. So do that. Watch that instead of continuously hooking yourself up to these YouTube videos and news and whatnot. Okay, so make sure you spend your time judiciously. Okay. All right. So let's begin today's lecture. But before starting, let me tell you that just watching this lecture would be job half done. So you need to revise it as well to remember these current affairs for longer periods of time. Now, these current affairs can be revised from the notes provided by us, and these notes are shared on our Telegram platform. And the link to our Telegram platform is just below the comment section, just below in the comment section. Okay. All right then. Let's begin today's session. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we shall cover today. So as you all know, India conducted surgical strikes, precision strikes on 9 terror bases in Pakistan. That was the Operation Sindoor. So today we will talk about the weapons that might have been used in this precision strike, though Indian government has not clarified completely which weapons exactly were used. Okay, but these are the weapons that might have been used. So let's know technical details about those weapons. Okay, so India's precision guided arsenal, we'll talk about this. Then, on May 8th, India conducted Global Space Exploration Summit. This was really significant because through this, India is trying to showcase its leadership position as far as global space cooperation is concerned. India is trying to showcase its leadership position in the global space power ecosystem. Okay, so we'll cover this. Then, you all know that in response to Pahalgam attack, India put the Indus Water Treaty into abeyance. Now, in that Indus Water Treaty, basically that means that India would not give full access of western rivers, that is Jhelum, Chenab and Ravi. Jhelum, Chenab and Indus to Pakistan, right? Now, the most significant river for Pakistan is Chenab, and India has some large dams on this river. So, what are those large dams? Because they have come into discussion these days. So, we'll talk about this. And in the end, we'll talk about some new development with respect to organ donation. Okay? Some new development with respect to organ donation. So, we'll talk about this issue as well. All right? Okay. Let's begin today's discussion with topic number 1. India's precision guided arsenal. So India has not revealed what weapons were used in Operation Sindoor. Okay, the official statement was that India conducted precision strikes. Okay, but over the past several years, Indian military has been building up. Okay, Indian military has been acquiring precision guided long range weapons, precision guided drones, and loitering munitions, which are a form of drones only. Clear? Now let's talk about some of the missiles, some of these precision guided munitions or precision guided missiles that might have been used in Operation Sindoor. So first is Hammer. Okay, so what is this Hammer missile? Well, Hammer stands for highly agile and maneuverable munition extended range. It is air to ground precision guided weapon that is fired from Rafale fighter jet. Okay, it was built by French corporation Safran, as you can see, and has a range of 70 kilometers. The system is autonomous and insensitive to jamming also. So you cannot jam this missile, and can be launched from a low altitude over rough terrain. Okay, then Scalp Missile, which is also believed to have been used by the Indian Armed Forces in Operation Sindoor. Okay, now Scalp has been built by a European multinational corporation called MBDA. Now, it is an air-launched cruise missile with stealth features designed for long-range deep strikes. Again, this is launched from aircraft, fighter jets. It is also known as Storm Shadow in Britain and has a range of 450 kilometers. That's quite a lot. And is difficult to detect due to its low flying capability when fired from an aircraft. Now, what are the special features of Scalp Missile? It is all weather, can be fired at night, can penetrate bunkers and ammunition stores, and its navigation system is top notch. It uses inertial navigation system, GPS, and terrain referencing. So its navigation system is very good. That's why it can hit its target anywhere. Okay. Then is Meteor missiles, which is again made by MBDA and again fired from aircrafts. It is beyond visual range air to air missile. Okay, beyond visual range means that you don't have to see your target. It can be far away. Still, you can fire this missile and it will reach its target. Effective in dense electronic warfare environments. When the enemy uses jammers, electronic jammers, to jam your missiles, it won't get jammed. It has solid fuel ramjet motor, provides it with thrust all the way to the target. So it can speed up all the way to the target. Okay. Then we have BrahMos missile. We all know BrahMos missile. Okay, it is a India-Russia joint collaboration. Okay, BrahMos missile. Its name is derived from Brahmaputra River in India and Moskva River in Russia. Okay. Now it is a supersonic. That means it travels faster than the speed of sound. Cruise missile operation in all three services. That is Army, Air Force, and Navy. Built by BrahMos Aerospace, okay, which is a joint venture between India and Russia. It can carry a bomb or warhead of 200 to 300 kilos, which is a lot. BrahMos missile operate at close to Mach 3 speed, which means 3 times the speed of sound. 3 times the speed of sound, okay, in cruise phase. Now, cruising altitude could be up to 15 kilometer and terminal altitude as low as 10 meters. Now, what do we mean by cruising altitude? When this missile is launched, okay, and when this missile is mid-air, that is cruising altitude. But when it is about to hit its target on the ground, then it lowers its altitude, okay, in the end moments. That is known as terminal altitude. So terminal altitude can be 10 meters and cruising altitude can be 15 kilometer height. Range is 290 to 450 kilometers. That is quite a lot. And last is loitering munitions. Well, most probably, not most probably, I mean through like verified sources, India would have used loitering munitions. Now, what are loitering munitions? These are basically drones only. But these drones are automatic drones. They locate their target and then hit that target. Okay, so they don't launch any missiles. They hit themselves. Okay, and because they are carrying a bomb, then they explode. So these are basically suicide drones. They are also known as suicide drones. Okay, kamikaze drones also. So these are loitering munitions which India had acquired. Okay, and has been acquiring in the past few years. So these are the weapons, precision weapons. Okay, precision strike capabilities that India has and might have used in Operation Sindoor and maybe now also. Clear? Now let's move on to second topic of the day, which is Global Space Exploration Summit. So India hosted 12th edition of Global Space Exploration Summit, GLEX 2025, from 7th to 9th May in New Delhi. The theme for this year's GLEX Summit was Reaching New Worlds, a Space Exploration Renaissance. Okay. Now, this summit was jointly organized by ISRO, Astronautical Society of India. So these two organizations were from India, and then an international organization called International Astronautical Federation. Well, it is the IAF, International Astronautical Federation, that regularly organizes GLEX. Okay, and this year they have decided to organize GLEX in India, GLEX 2025, the 12th edition, and that is why they collaborated with ISRO and ASI. Now, the significance of this conference or this summit and its significance in being hosted in India. The conference represents a milestone in India's expanding global space leadership, highlighting its transition from a regional space power to a key international player. Okay, now about this International Astronautical Federation. So it was founded in 1951 and it was founded for global space cooperation among countries. Now, as far as the membership of this organization is concerned, well, it has around 500 members from 78 countries. Now, these members include space agencies like ISRO, private space companies like Elon Musk, SpaceX, and all, research institutes, universities. They are all members. The motto of IAF is connecting all space people, and the theme is a spacefaring world cooperating for the benefit of humanity. That means cooperation among space agencies of different countries so that space can be used to benefit people. Okay, that's all you need to know as far as this second news item is concerned. Okay, and now let's move on to third news item, which is India's large dams on Chenab. Remember, India basically put Indus Water Treaty in abeyance, which was signed in 1960. And as per Indus Water Treaty, well, the Indus River system, Indus and its 5 tributaries were divided into 2 parts: Western rivers, Eastern rivers. Okay, the Western rivers are Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, which flow from India to Pakistan, and the Eastern rivers are Ravi, Beas, Satluj. These are the eastern rivers, these are the western rivers. Now, as per Indus Water Treaty, well, eastern rivers have been allocated to India, and as far as western rivers are concerned, they have been allocated to Pakistan. Okay, that means India cannot stop the flow of these western rivers flowing into Pakistan. That was basically what Indus Water Treaty was. But now India has put this water treaty in abeyance, and Pakistan fears, and many people believe, that, well, India would be constructing and has already constructed dams. India would increase capacity of damming, and therefore India can slow down the flow of water, Western rivers water, into Pakistan, which is a very serious situation for Pakistan because water is life basically. Okay, and the most significant river for Pakistanis, well, Indus is there, but it's Chenab. Chenab has a very huge water flow. Okay, and India already has some dams on it. Clear? And some of those dams, like Salal Dam, Baglihar Dam, their gates were closed, stopping the flow of water for some time, and then it was opened. Clear? So it is a clear toying around with the idea of Indus Water Treaty. India is making the world known that we are not following Indus Water Treaty as of now till Pakistan dismantles its terror infrastructure. So Chenab almost ran dry in Jammu and Kashmir's Akhnoor sector near the line of control on Monday after the sluice gates, that is, these are the gates of the dam. 2 large dams, Salal and Baglihar, were closed. Now both Salal Dam and Baglihar Dam are on Chenab. This came days after India decided to keep the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance. Okay. Now, first of all, we need to know what large dams are, because in the state of J&K, where western rivers flow from India to Pakistan, okay, India has 15 large dams. That means India has the capacity to stop some amount of water flowing to Pakistan. Now, what is important for you to know is, what is the definition of large dams? So, as per the National Register for Large Dams, as per the National Register of Large Dams, there are 15 large dams, not small, large dams in J&K. Now, what are large dams? So, National Dam Safety Authority, which is the statutory authority to ensure that dams are safe. So, National Dam Safety Authority has given a definition of large dams. Okay, what is that criteria? If the dam has a height of more than 15 meters, okay, if this is the case, then large dam. And if it is between 10 to 15 meters, but it satisfied one of the 5 criteria. Maybe its length is long, its reservoir capacity is high, it has maximum flood discharge, it has a huge foundation and design. So if all these criteria are satisfied, then the dam can be between the height of 10 and 15 meters, and then it would be classified as large dam. So remember this part. Okay. Now, as per this definition, India has 4 large dams on Chenab: Salal Dam, Alal Dam, Baglihar Dam, Dool Dam. And the significant dams among this list of 4 are Salal and Baglihar, okay, whose gates were closed and now opened. Clear? Now, Indus Water Treaty and Chenab. Remember, I told you that Chenab is the most significant of western rivers as far as water discharge is concerned. So about Chenab, well, it enters J&K after flowing for 122 kilometers in Himachal, and it drains the eastern section of southern slopes of Pir Panjal, Jammu Hills and foothills. Okay, and then from Jammu it enters Pakistan. Now, Indus Water Treaty identifies Chenab as one of the three western rivers, okay, which which is allocated to Pakistan. But despite this river being allocated to Pakistan, as per the Indus Water Treaty, India is allowed some use of these western rivers for drinking purposes, agricultural purposes, domestic use. Okay, so India is allowed for some allowed to use these water of these rivers, and India can also generate hydroelectricity from it, as per the Indus Water Treaty. Okay, but hydroelectricity can be generated through two ways. Either you dam the river, store water, and drop the water from a huge height, and then run the turbine. Okay, that is not allowed under Indus Water Treaty on Chenab, because that would mean stopping the flow of Chenab River. Or you can basically run your turbine by using the force of water flow. If you construct a project that uses the force of water flow to spin the turbine and generate electricity, those are known as run-of river plants. Okay, so as per Indus Water Treaty, India is allowed run-of river plants. And therefore, as per Indus Water Treaty, India constructed these four large dams: Salal, Baglihar, Alal, and Dool. Okay, but now India is using these run-of-river projects also to store water or basically stock water. India can basically. Clear? Both Salal and Baglihar on Chenab are run-of-river projects. Clear? That's all you need to know. But now IWT is held in abeyance, so no one knows what would happen. Clear? And now let's move on to last news item, which is new registry for organ donation. As you all know, organ donation is a big help for people who suffer from organ failure, whether it's kidney, liver, and people need all sorts of transplant. The problem is that there is an illegal business that is already going on everywhere in the world, where organs are harvested illegally from someone and then given in black market. Now, India doesn't want this black market to exist. Okay, that is why we have created a legal way of organ donation, and we want that the organ that is harvested from someone, that person is not exploited. Basically, to ensure everything is there, everything is done ethically, we have to stop illegal and promote legal. Now, for legal organ donation and transplantation, well, there is an organization in India, that is National Organ and Tissue Transplantation Organization. Okay, now this NOTO has recently announced that it will create a new national portal for everyone in need for organ donation to register. Okay, so if someone is in need for organ donation, they can register on this portal, and if anyone has donated, well, they have to also register on this portal. Okay, the hospitals have to register on this portal, so that you can match the organ donor with organ receiver. Everything should happen in a transparent way. Clear? Now, NOTO has said that already there exists a portal, but we want to create a better portal, real-time portal for organ donation registration and organ receiving registration. Okay, so NOTO is currently in talks with CDAC, Center for Development of Advanced Computing, to create a computerized portal. Clear? That would have a national registry where everyone would register. The aim is to enhance transparency and establish one national level waiting list for people who want organ donation. Okay. Now, as far as NOTO is concerned, you need to know a few facts about it. So, it is a national level organization which functions under Directorate General of Health Services, which is under Health Ministry. It is responsible for implementing the National Organ Transplant Program and to carry out activities as per Transplantation of Human Organs and Tissue Act. Functions are: provide organized system of organ procurement and distribution, and it maintains a national registry of donors and recipients. Okay. Now, why do we need a new portal? First of all, the current portal is a little inadequate and it is a little non-transparent. Okay, because the exact data is not available from some hospitals. So it would rectify that. then this new portal would be so transparent and better that it would basically not completely destroy but impact illegal organ trade, which is flourishing in India. Okay, so it would disincentivize people to go for illegal organ trade. Plus, this portal has few advantages. Okay, those advantages are very easy to understand. You can read them yourself, and that would be all. Okay, and that would be all as far as this lecture is also concerned. Okay, with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it would add more value if you revise this lecture and if you're not getting distracted by the current situation, the tense situation going on right now. On that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone.